I was in the best shape ever. That's the only chance which I have. But no one couldn't thought that the fall was so deep. Never before happened something like that.
We didn't predict this.
How could she overcome this extensive injury and do this? And I can just say, I don't know.
It was just about not to give up. It was just about trying.
Crash was so strong and injury is so big that we tried to stop her.
I said, nah, the story is not finished yet. When I arrived to Vancouver, I was probably in my lifetime shape.
How many medals are you going to win at the Olympics?
I hope minimum 3.
Many.
One day before the race, as a usual program, it's like easy skiing and then make some technical parts around and then make some maybe sprints for activation and warm-up. Petra have been doing that like starts with some athletes from another nation, and these athletes have been men's, and she had been able to beat the men's in the sprints on the stadium, which was for us something like shocked.
Sam pri sebi in tudi drugim sem dejal, poglejte, pazite na to, Petra bo zlata, to je dejstvo. No, kako je se potem zgodba razvijala, pa je seveda že druga zgodba.
I remember that early in the morning I did the course inspection and I thought I did it well, but obviously I didn't.
The skis were just gliding and they didn't break. They lost the contact with snow. And generally, if there would be a wider track or a wider curve, or if it would be a bend, you could go close to bend and the bend would be your brake. It wouldn't be a problem. But luckily there was no bend. Huh?
I would not expect somebody would ski so far from the line, but it happened. So she crashed in that awful ditch.
When I was flying, I realized it was 4.5 meter deep hole. You always turn to see how or where are you falling. And suddenly I realized there is dark. I was starting to scream badly, and with that scream, I started to feel really bad pain in my back. Somehow, I climbed out of that hole, and I tried to run by my foot to stadium without skis because they were broken. I reached Ivan and Gianluca and Milos because they were running in opposite side, tried to reach me.
We try to stop her because doctors know what can be when she say, I have pain here. Doctor can imagine that some ribs can be broken. And doctor immediately react, we have here some dangerous situation and it's better to not start.
I have to go and start. It was too much involved in that moment, in that competition, in that medal. 20 years of work. It was a great team behind who gave more than 4 years of their lives.
Petra prihaja iz majhnega okolja. Sicer njen rojstni kraj ni prav daleč od slovenskega glavnega mesta Ljubljane, vendar pa vzgojena je v družini, kjer je imela tudi brata, kjer so morali veliko delati na kmetiji, poslušati očeta in mamo.
Sigurno že od majčkega sva jih navajala na delo. Edina dota, ki jo lahko daš otroku, je to, da ga naučiš delati, ne? Neha še vedno lahko.
Imela je pravzaprav veliko srečo, da je naletela na njenega trenerja Roberta Slabanjo.
Ja, Petra je seveda poleg treninga delala tudi doma, ne? In to je na začetku sigurno je pomagalo, ker s tem je pridobila še, bi rekel, delovne navade. Poleg tega je tudi domače delo, fizično delo, jo je ukrepilo in je na ta način pridobila še neke moči, ne? Vendar s časom, ko so te treningi postali, bom rekel, zahtevni, bolj resni, pa je bilo pravzaprav to domače delo moteče.
Robert was very demanding. He was very professional, I would say. He said he demanded that whatever you do 100%.
Sem jaz enkrat potem šel tudi k njim domov, k očetu, in sem se zmenil, da pač ne bi upravljala več domačega dela v hlevu, da ne bi bilo treba več tega dela upravljati. In oče je bil toliko razumevajoč, da je to tudi ustregel.
First we started training, we were all about fun, and then when we were about 10 or something, that we started to go to these races and everything, and she was all the time very determined that she wants to be the best, that she really wants to do something.
When I came to the stadium, of course, everybody were in shock because this news just spread between the teams really rapidly. Everybody knew it. Petra felt extremely badly. Maybe, perhaps, for her it's not possible to go and start.
We really see that we have no chance to change her, then we can now fight against. We have to do something, how to support her in these situations.
I didn't want to sit because I realized if I sit, the pain will be even worse. I had to move to keep my body warmed up.
And then we say, okay, you are not sprinting, you just make your race as you want to make race on Olympics, and you just go slowly around, you make your loop and we go to hospital.
The qualification run, it was every 2 seconds scream, because I breathe, I take a breath in, but when I put the breath out, I was just like from a scream, I put it out, the pain and breath. I still have very close to my eyes that scene that there was first uphill, and the coaches from all countries were standing on the same side, just watching the competition. In that moment, everybody were totally silent. Totally silent, just listening that scream. And I still fight till the end, hoping to reach top 30, and I did. I was 19th after qualifications, and I was lying on the floor, and I said, okay, I did it. First step is done. I didn't think anymore about the medal. It was just about not to give up. It was just about trying. In that moment, I realized, okay, just try. It was just, don't give up. It's not end yet. The story didn't end yet. Cross-country skiing is sport which takes a lot of effort to achieve good results. Coming from farm family, coming from state like Slovenia, that helped me to develop myself. The path was not easy one, and that motivates me every day, every morning, although that I'm coming from a region where it's not the best environment to become a cross-country skiing.
Včasih sem Petro primerjala tudi kot Don Kihot, ki se bori z mlini na veter in da s tem okej ne bo kruha in da naj rajš kaj drugega počne. Ampak to je bilo brez smisla pri njej, a ne? Ona je šla svojo pot.
No one understood why cross-country skiing is so important to you, that you are going first session of training, rest in car, second session of training and driving home, and putting all your savings in that. And that was really a hard period. I had a feeling that I'm fighting against all. In age 21 in Asiago, and I was for the first time on podium. Suddenly, I got much better conditions. I got deployment in army forces, and yeah, that was a big breakthrough.
Armed forces help, especially young athletes, in the kind that they gave them social safety. They have their job, they have health insurance, social insurance.
That was something like wow for me. I could live from it. I could buy additional material. I could really be independent.
The most important time was after the qualification round, because then we had a break, I don't know, for an hour, more than an hour, and she went to the doctor.
Wir sind zu dieser Ambulanz gegangen, weil wir wussten, da gibt es einige Möglichkeiten, was zu untersuchen. Wir haben gedacht, da gibt es ein Röntgen, dass wir das überprüfen können, ob das gebrochen ist oder etwas mehr. Wir haben waren erstaunt, dass da nur ein Ultraschall vorlag. Aber das war immer noch besser als nichts.
If something is really broken, we shouldn't allow her to continue. But if it is not broken, so it's just the heat and the pain because of the heat, we shouldn't allow her to quit, because she will not be ready to live without getting medal. This is her last chance.
And he was researching, trying, examining me and everything, but he was saying, it's in nothing.
But when he saw her, she needed 10 minutes just to turn around. It was awful,
So I can go, and he was still trying to research me, what is wrong, and he said, I don't know, but looks like everything is okay. So I said, can I go? And he actually allowed me.
Also, ich habe keinen Zweifel gehabt, dass ich irgendwie was Großes riskiere und dass sie irgendwie eine Gefahr aussetze und dass mir die Medaille wichtiger wäre als ihre Gesundheit. Ja.
When we finished the examination at the doctor, she was really unable to walk.
I remember I couldn't ski. I couldn't run. I was just trying to walk and keep my body warm.
I said, do you have pains in your arms? She said, no. I said, do you have pains in your legs? She said, no. And I said, then concentrate only on your arms and leg.
I became more and more exhausted. You have to understand that this competition in total lasts for 5-6 hours. And in this pain was killing me. And the agony of repeating all these competitions and getting more and more tired. And before semi-final, I said, I cannot anymore. I cannot. I really cannot. It's over. And he started to scream on me.
The coach came to me and asked, Matej, what can we do? And I said, let me think. You have to shout on her. If you shout, she is not used to do it that you shout on her. She will ask the coach, is shouting on me? What's wrong? This is not normal. So it will make adrenaline, and this adrenaline will help her to reduce pain.
It was so clear that I'm in horrible pain, and I was just trying to continue with my, I would say, never give up story. It was clear after a situation in Salt Lake City, it was clear after a situation in Turin that I will not get the 4th Olympics. That's the only chance which I have.
...2002, Salt Lake City.
Je bila v Ameriki še nekoliko premlada, še nezrela, čeprav je bila že takrat odlično pripravljena.
I was just a little girl, you know, unsure about her abilities, unsure, especially in big competitions.
Pa potem do Torina, kjer je bila zares pripravljena vrhunsko. Takrat je bila po mnenju mnogih, tudi mojem mnenju Petra, sposobna vzeti tudi vsaj eno odličje.
I lost a medal. One service guy from Germany, he fell, and I was in leading group of 11 athletes, and he fell on me. He crashed me during Olympic competition. When I was trying to compete again, you know, the leading group went away, and I was in such a huge shock. I didn't know in which direction I have to run. It was, you know, you don't expect that will happen to you in Olympic Games.
In Olympics and in Slovenian sport, it's so that only medals count. Sometimes people don't even remember who was the second. But okay, medals are recognized, but you don't even know who was the 4th.
Do not come back to Slovenia without a medal, because everybody will thought that you are just a coward, or that you are psychically not stable to handle the pressure of big competitions. Because this was the 3rd Olympics, and coming back without a medal again was a big, big, big favorite. I really knew that it's impossible to beat Marit Bjorgen and Justina Kowalczyk in my condition. So I realized that, okay, that position, the bronze medal is still capable to get. And the final fight began. From position 4, I still have a chance to fight for a medal. If you're in position 5 or 6, you know, psychically, you just think, okay, it's too far, and you just stop fighting. and then came this downhill with a curve. I lost the balance there, but my body was like dizzying. I was just not capable to control it anymore. I was tired. I started to lose balance. In that track, I just remember how loudly all team members were screaming. It was something, you know, from one point I heard Ivan. When voice of Ivan I was losing, there was Milos and Mate and everybody were there on the track, and that was a crucial moment probably because I never on that track totally give up. And suddenly it was that I was with Anna Olsen.
I'm sure that Petra, when she came to the finish area, she knew if someone deserves this medal, today this is me.
I was gliding very long. Everybody else started to push with arms earlier, but I was just gliding, you know, trying to get some more moments, not seconds, moments of rest to prepare myself for this finish. And I start to feel that you can get it. You can get it. You really can get it. It was just 250. It was just 200. I saw the finish line. It was like, you can get it. You can really get it. And start to feel that Anna is giving up, that she's losing it. And I realize, you get it. And I just passed the finish line.
The short moments until finish, we have been already happy, but then came a situation when we have to forget to be happy and just try to solve a situation.
Ker je šlo za tako poškodbo, smo se skupaj z zdravniki na polikliniki odločili tudi za CT prsnega koša, ki pa je pokazal pravzaprav 5 zlomljenih reber in pa pnevmotoraks. Pnevmotoraks je bil tako velik, da je bila potrebna ustavitev torakalne drenaže.
I was still in thoughts, I want to get the medal. And he said, no, it's impossible. I said, how long does it take to make this operation? He said, 15 minutes. And I said, okay, I give you 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bronze medalist representing Slovenia, Petra Majdic.
In that moment, I felt that the Slovenians need some message to be told that it's possible. You just have to fight. It will not be easy. It will not be easy at all. But you can manage, because life is giving you as much pain as you are capable to live with. And on the end of that path, the goal will be reachable. You will have suffer to do, but doesn't matter. You can do it.